There are love stories that entertain, and then there are stories that linger, quietly unsettling your thoughts long after the screen fades to black. What's unfolding between Sukai and Songyun doesn't feel scripted, polished, or distant. It feels real, almost too real. And that's exactly why fans across the United States, Asia, Spain, and Europe can't stop talking about it. It started subtly. No grand announcements. No staged headlines. Just a series of moments. Glances that lasted a second too long. Laughter that didn't seem rehearsed, and silences that spoke louder than dialogue. In an industry where chemistry is often manufactured, what viewers noticed between Sukai and Songyun felt raw, unfiltered, and deeply personal. Fans first picked up on it during behind-the-scenes clips that were never meant to go viral. Sukai, usually composed and charismatic, appeared softer, more attentive. Songyun, known for her bright and natural charm, seemed unusually reserved around him, as though she was guarding something fragile. It wasn't the kind of tension directors write into scripts. It was something far more. During a live event, Sukai adjusted Songyun's microphone without hesitation. A simple gesture, yet one that carried an unspoken familiarity. At another appearance, she instinctively turned to him before answering a question, as if seeking reassurance. These weren't dramatic displays of affection. They were quiet, instinctive actions, the kind that can't be easily faked. Fans began to feel something unusual, emotional investment beyond entertainment. This wasn't just about shipping two celebrities anymore. It was about witnessing something that mirrored real-life emotions, uncertainty, vulnerability, and the quiet hope of connection. And then, just as the speculation reached its peak, everything changed. Their interactions became less frequent. Public appearances together grew rare. Interviews shifted in tone. Sukai appeared more guarded, choosing his words carefully. Songyun, on the other hand, seemed distant, her usual warmth replaced by a subtle restraint that fans couldn't ignore. It was as if a chapter had ended without explanation. That silence spoke volumes. Some fans believed that what they shared was real, but complicated. Others think external pressures may have forced them apart. In the world of C-dramas and K-drama fandoms, where public image often clashes with private reality, stories like this are rarely straightforward. What makes this story so powerful isn't confirmation, it's ambiguity. People see themselves in it. The almost love, the timing that never quite aligns, the connection that feels undeniable, yet remains unspoken for audiences in the United States and across Europe. It echoes a kind of slow-burn emotional storytelling scene in global dramas. For Asian viewers, it reflects a cultural nuance where emotions are often expressed through actions rather than words. And for everyone watching, it becomes something deeply relatable, something human. There's also the undeniable fact that both Sukai and Songyun are at pivotal points in their careers. With rising international recognition and expanding fan bases, every move they make is scrutinized. Every expression is analyzed. In such an environment, maintaining authenticity becomes a challenge, and perhaps a risk. So the question remains, was what fans witnessed a genuine connection caught in fleeting moments? Or was an illusion so convincing that it blurred the line between fiction and reality? Some insiders suggest that their bond was rooted in shared experiences, long filming hours, emotional scenes, and the pressure of constant public attention. These environments often create intense connections, ones that feel real in the moment but struggle to survive outside that space. Others argue that what they share went beyond that there was something deeper, something neither of them was ready to define publicly. Many times before, away from the cameras, fans in the United States began calling it the look you can't fake. And suddenly, everything started to shift again. Discussion forums, TikTok edits, and YouTube breakdowns began focusing less on what happened and more on why it still feels unfinished. Because despite the distance, despite the silence, there's one detail no one can ignore. Neither of them has ever truly closed that chapter. Sukai's recent appearances carry a subtle change. There's a pause before he answers questions about love, a careful smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes. And when asked about meaningful connections, he doesn't deflect, he reflects. It's almost as if he's speaking to someone without saying their name. Songyun, on the other hand, has become even more intriguing. Her interviews reveal strength, independence, but also something quieter beneath the surface. A kind of emotional restraint that fans recognize instantly. Not heartbreak, not regret. Something more complex, like someone who experienced something real but couldn't hold on to it. And that's where the story takes a turn no one expected. Because now, fans aren't just asking if they were ever together. They're asking if they're still connected, in ways the public can't see. There have been coincidences, too many to ignore. Similar schedules, overlapping locations, subtle references in interviews that seem oddly aligned. Alone, each detail means nothing, but together, they form a pattern that feels almost deliberate or dangerously coincidental. And this is what's pulling global audiences deeper into the mystery. In the U.S., where storytelling thrives on emotional realism, this feels like a narrative unfolding in real time. Not a drama, not a rumor, but something that exists in that blurred space between truth and silence. Because real stories don't always come with confirmations. Sometimes they come with fragments, a glance that lingers, a sentence that feels unfinished, a connection that refuses to disappear, even when everything else does. And maybe that's why this story refuses to fade. It doesn't give you closure. It gives you questions. What really happened between Soo-kai and Tan Songyun when the cameras stop rolling? Why does their silence feel louder than any confession? And most importantly, why does it still feel like their story isn't over? Because if there's one thing fans are starting to realize, it's this. Some stories don't end. They pause. And when they return, they don't just continue. They reveal everything. If you felt the tension, seen the moments, and questioned what's real, then you're already part of the story. Stay close, because what's coming next doesn't just revisit the past. It uncovers the truth fans were never meant to see.